If you have a muted olive complexion like I do and you are on the hunt for the perfect makeup brand that caters for your skin tone, today's video will address the question of muted olive skin tone versus No. 7 makeup. Who wins? Welcome! You're jumping right in where I've already applied my primer and I am just blending in my concealer. And we're jumping in at this bit of the video so that I can talk to you about what I'm going to do today. As you know, I'm kind of interested in trying to find the right shade of foundation for my skin, which is what I understand we call a light to medium muted olive shade. And for me, that comes from my British and Irish and slightly Italian ancestry. And I know that many of you also have a muted olive complexion, and for all sorts of different reasons. So it's not just the Brits and the Irish that suffer this particular fate, it seems, but certainly that's where my colouring comes from. But today, what I want to do is test out the No. 7 shade finder result and see whether the foundation that it's recommended for me is in fact a match for my muted olive complexion. Several people, I think I counted at least 4 people in the comments of the last 2 videos, have recommended No. 7, although most of you have said that you use and like Cool Ivory. I think one person said Cool Vanilla, and that was interesting. So when I went onto the app and you take a selfie and it scans your skin tone and everything, it scanned my skin tone and it told me that I had a cool undertone and that I had a medium complexion, which is interesting because I would say it's more on the light side. However, it then went on to recommend 3 different shades of foundation to me. And the weirdest thing of all is that even though it recognised I had a cool undertone and a medium complexion, which is better than some of the apps out there because quite a few of them just immediately go straight to warm, and I think that's the olive in the skin tone confusing the app. Even then, the first foundation it recommended, and this is the one I'm going to be trying today because we wanted to go with the recommendation of the app, is actually a neutral undertone foundation. The second recommendation it gave me was a warm, and it's funny because it's a warm ivory and it's one I actually have already used and I quite like, and I'm a little bit mystified because I definitely have a cool complexion, cool olive, there's no question about that, and yet sometimes these apps are recommending warm foundations. In fact, most of the time they are recommending warm foundations to me, which is really a bit baffling. Anyway, it's recommended a neutral today, and it's one of their new shades that I think, I looked it up and I think they've introduced a new shade range when they've reformulated some of their foundations, and that was in 2021. And the shade that it came up with was Sahara. So I got to say, I'm a bit worried about that because Sahara sounds like a desert. Well, it is a desert. And that made me think, oh God, have they given me another warm foundation? So it says online that it's a neutral one. So I guess we will find out. So I've got the Sahara one that I've bought according to the rules. And I also have a different foundation in warm ivory, which is the one I've used in the past. And then I have to confess, it gave me 3 options. And the third option was a cool toned option. I can't remember if I've written down what it was called now. Cool beige. So it suggested No. 1 Sahara, No. 2 warm ivory, and then 3 cool beige. So I've gone with the first option, which is supposed to be the best match, which is Sahara. So bear with me while we give it a go. Right, so let's get this out. So this is a new foundation to me, actually. The last one I used was the Lift and Luminate, and I rather liked that. But today I am using the No. 7 Stay Perfect in SPF 30, that is. It says for best results, blend on smoothly and evenly with your fingers, sponge or brush. Okay, so however you like then. Right, let's have a look at this foundation and see if we think this is going to work for a muted olive tone. So that's what it's looking like on the back of my hand. Not too bad. That looks like it might be a fair match. Let's dab some across my face and see how that looks once we get it on the skin. Not too bad. I think it does look fairly neutral. I'm not seeing too much yellow or orange coming through, I don't think. Right, let's blend it out. The truth of the pudding is in the blending, as we say. So let's give this a go. I was interested to do a bit of research into No7 because if you're from the UK, you will know that No7 can only be bought inside Boots. And in fact, it turns out that Boots did invent No7 and they invented it in the, let me check the notes, in the 30s actually. So No7 has been around since the 30s. I think they started off with skincare and then a couple of years later introduced makeup, and then it kind of trundled along with all the world events happening around it. And then it started to get quite popular in the kind of 50s and 60s. And then in 2007, it became very popular when one of the universities did some testing on their anti-aging serums and demonstrated that they actually worked. And so I think No7 has been increasingly popular since the early 2000s. And it's one of those brands that you kind of see it when you go into Boots. And they're always giving you vouchers actually to try and entice you into buying it. And I've always thought of it as being quite a kind of grown up and sophisticated brand. And I think that's why it struggles to compete sometimes with some of the high street or drugstore brands that are all kind of trendy and snazzy. We've got classics from the UK like Rimmel. There's global L'Oreal. And you've got trendy ones coming up now like Elf and NYX and so on. And so No7 is kind of sits somewhere. It's kind of above those drugstore brands, but it's not quite as luxurious as the high-end brands like, you know, Dior and Lancome and everything. So I think it sits in a funny middle area, and that is sort of why I only occasionally ever dip into No7 to have a look at it actually. I know quite a long time ago I did really like the bronzing balls. You can get like this little container, it's a bronzer, but it's full of coloured balls, sort of brown and pink and so on. And I did used to really like that when I was kind of a younger woman. I think they still do it actually, so I probably should go and try that. But No7, yeah, I'm kind of testing out brands that I think might be more sympathetic to the British skin tone, so this sort of muted olive. And No7 is first on my list of brands to test, but there's certainly other brands that I would love to test. There's Vive, which has been created by Jamie Genevieve, who is British. There is obviously Lisa Eldridge, who many of you have mentioned in comments, saying that she caters for olive skin tones really well. So she's definitely high on my list to test in the future. But yeah, today we're doing the first head to head is Muted Olive versus No7, and here we go. Right, I think I have blended that to death. What do we think of this shade Sahara? I think in real life it's looking really good. It's looking like a really close match to my skin tone. So what do we think of the shade Sahara? I'd be interested to know if you think this is neutral, cool toned and suitable. I think it's looking pretty good actually, not too bad. So today is mostly going to be No7 makeup, but I don't have any bronzer or contour from No7, so I am going to dip into my collection for that. I'm going to try this Maybelline Lifter Stix. This is in a slightly darker shade than I used this time. This is in the shade 35, and this is the RMS Beauty in Beachwalk Betty, which was the coolest toned one I saw in the collection, so I'm quite keen to give this a go. I'm going to do a bit of contour with this and a bit of bronzing with this one. All right, I know you're dying to know. I'm sure you're thinking, where the hell has your hair gone? So here's what happened. My hair was looking horrible. I'd bleached it and it was really dry and brittle and horrible, and it was quite patchy actually where I'd had brown and red dye on it before and then bleached it. Most of it had come up and out, but there were sort of patches that didn't look really very good, and then the toner that was originally applied just washed straight out, as it's prone to do. Kind of if you do it immediately, your hair's still very porous and it doesn't kind of hang on to the toner very well. But then I also tried to do the toner again, and it was a cool blonde, like a pearl blonde I picked, and it just went this sort of weird light brown colour, and I just thought, do you know what, I've had enough of this. So I'm afraid the hair had to go. I just felt that it was in such bad condition that I needed a reset and a refresh. And I've had my hair this short before, and to be honest, I really love it. And God, it's so easy to maintain. It takes washing and drying, it takes like 2 seconds, so makes life so much easier. I can't tell you. I'm ready though. I'm ready for the comments. I know some of you are going to hate it. So I'm braced for the comments. People going, oh my God, where's your hair gone? You like to tell me what you think about my hair, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of comments down below later on. Right, these are the bronzers and contours going on. I think these look really nice actually. This is lovely, this Beachwalk Betty shade. And I liked the lifter stick in 35 as well actually. I think that looked really good. Look, you don't even need a blush. This is sort of dual purpose. You could get away with using this as a blush and a bronzer, couldn't you? Look at that. I'm going to take it a bit over the nose actually. Try and give me a little bit more colour all over. That's really lovely. Now that doesn't pull orange on me at all, so I'll be interested to know what you think about that. I'm finding these brow mascaras really tricky to use. I know some of you have recommended them and said that that's all you use, but I just make a bit of a mess with it. I don't know why. I think they look good if you can apply them without smearing it all over your face. Wow, I'm not enjoying doing my brows. Right, I've got a new blush product to try today. I've just bought this one. It's the No7 Pro Artist Luxe Liquid Blush. This is in the shade Taupe Blush, it says. It says it's a creamy, lightweight blusher, awakens the complexion for a soft flush of colour that blends beautifully into the skin. So, right then, let's have a look at this on the hand first and see what we think of this. I think that colour's looking really nice. Let's have a look at how it's going to blend. Yeah, okay, not too bad. I think that might be something we want to blend with the finger. Let's use it from here first of all, just in case it ends up being highly pigmented. Oh, that's nice. That looks really natural on my skin, I think. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? It looks like it's blending quite well in real life. On the camera, it looks maybe a bit more splotchy. It's funny, you can see things on the camera that you can't actually see in the mirror. I'm wondering if that hasn't gone a bit splotchy. Let's try and blend it out with the brush a little. Maybe trying to blend it with the finger isn't ideal. Well, anyway, that is the Luxe Liquid Blush in Taupe Blush. Right then, for eyes, I am finding that No7's eye makeup tends to be a bit on the shimmery side. I do, though, have this Stay Perfect Smoothing Eyeshadow Cream, so I think I might use that all over. And then to kind of enhance things a little bit, I'm going to dip into this palette here. So that's our eyeshadow base in the shade Rose Gold. I think that's preferable to some of the shimmers that we've got in the palette here. But I'm going to use some of these to try and define things a little bit more. It's interesting because I've used this purple brown shade to line my eyes, and it looks to me definitely like a purple brown in the pot, but it is starting to pull the tiniest bit warm on my skin, I would say. I think that's showing up a little bit more like a warm brown. Right then, so I have contoured a little bit across the crease of the lid with this mottled shade, and then I've used a little bit of the pink just on the eyelids there. I do have a No7 mascara. This one must have come in one of the Christmas boxes. It's the Pro Tubing Mascara. It's called That's a Wrap Tubing Mascara in the shade Black. So I have a question for my fellow muted olive skin people. Do you like to have a little bit of drama in your makeup? What I have noticed about my makeup preferences is that I can't wear anything very highly coloured, so bright blusher, very bright lips are kind of out of the question. But what I do enjoy is a little bit of contrast, and not colourful contrast, but like contrast from having maybe a black mascara or maybe a bright red lip actually. I'm kind of toying with the idea of trying to understand what works for me by separating contrast out from colour, or chroma I think you can also call it. So I'm really interested to know, is it a common theme, or is that just personal to me that I like to see a little bit of contrast in my makeup? Let me know down below if you like contrast even if you don't like bright colours. Right, for the lips today I've bought a couple of new products. I've got this lip liner. It's the Pro Artist Precision Edit lip liner, and this is in the shade Plum Allure. Annoyingly, the shade is only on the box. I don't know why they don't put the shades on the actual pencil, but that is our Plum Allure. And I also have bought a new lipstick. I don't know about you, but I don't like the packaging of this. It looks a little bit uninspired to me. I'm sure the lipstick is going to be wonderful. I just don't much like the packaging. Okay, so this is in the shade Pink Blush, I think that says, and that's a little bit pinker and brighter than I would normally go for, but I wanted to pair these two together and see how that looks. These lip pencils go on really nicely. It's really creamy and easy to apply. I'm really happy with that lip liner. Let's see about this lipstick. It might be a bit too bright now that I've seen it on my hand. It's a little bit pinker than I was expecting. I'm thinking if we tone it down with the lip liner, then they might work okay together. What do you think? That's not my normal shade. I don't know if I can quite pull off this pink lip. Let me know in the comments, with your olive complexion, would you pull off a lip like this? Right then, I think that's it for today's video, which was muted olive skin versus No7 makeup. What do you think? I've kind of picked slightly different colours to what I would normally go with here. To be honest, I would normally go with something slightly more neutral or warm. And today I've tried to go for pure cool tones. So I'll be really interested to know down in the comments, what do you think about that? Do you think warm neutral is more flattering than these cool tones? I am still making my mind up about this. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.